Hello, this is the Phallic Philosopher. I am so because I'm a bit of a dick, and I'll penetrate your mind with my deep thoughts. I'm back for video number 2. In the last video, I stated that the universe exists in defiance of the space it resides in. In this video, I'm going to elaborate on that statement. So, let me start off by showing you this diagram here, which is shitty. This is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional phenomenon here. Now, as you can see, I got +1, and around here, all these little spheres around are -0.1. So, what that's showing is, before the Big Bang existed a balanced, uniform expanse of neutral space. Now, I don't know, this is where logic really does not come into play, because I can't understand or come up with any kind of explanation for why, but the will to exist somehow manifested itself, and this will to exist gave it leverage. This point in space had leverage over the space around it, and it began to draw energy in. Now, this is why a sphere is the most basic shape in the universe, because that's the most efficient way for a thing to anchor itself in the tangible realm, because you can pull from every possible point in space to maintain that foothold in existence. So anyway, this point in space was able to start sucking energy from around it. Now, the little diagram that I drew is not really a very good representation of what was taking place, because a sphere has a multitude of points that come into contact with it. I don't know how many that is, so I couldn't put that down here on my diagram. In addition to that, there would have been too many fucking circles to draw, and I don't have the time for it. So anyway, this point in space began pulling from every possible point in space around it. All the immediate spaces from that contacted that point in space, it began sucking against. Now, that will gave it power over that space, because everything was neutral around it from that point back. So anyway, this point in space started sucking. So it might have took a millionth of 1 unit of energy from every point in space around it. Now, the diagram is showing 1/10 of a unit of energy. At any rate, since it was taking less than 1 unit of energy from the space around it, it was able to thrust itself into the positive realm of existence. So it became positive, the space around it became negative. So it became material, space around it became anti-material or antimatter, dark matter, negative space, however you want to put it. So it became material, but since it was more positive than the space around it was negative, the space around it could not counter the amount of force it was exerting on it. Therefore, it kept taking energy from the space around it exponentially. See? Now, in this one, now this is +10, and all the space around it here. Alright, so it's kind of fucking hard to do here backwards. Alright, there we go. So all the space around it here is now -1. So this is +10, and all these are -1 now. Remember, before in the first illustration, it was +1. Space around it was -0.1. So it continued like that exponentially. The more energy it stole from its surroundings, the more powerful it became, the more positive it became, and the more negative the space around it became. But the space around it never became equal in negativity to the amount that that point in space was positive. So therefore, it can never really match the pull or the force that was being exerted on it. So anyways, this continued for a indeterminate amount of time, because I don't know how long these things take. You know, my theory really cannot measure these things. I don't know. I'm just saying this is what seems logical to me. So this is what I'm expressing. So anyways, that point in space kept pulling, sucking that energy in. All the energy that it sucked in was automatically imbued with the will to exist, because nothing that exists does not possess the will to exist, or else it wouldn't. Now this is a key factor in the way the universe works, as far as I can tell. Everything possesses the will to exist. The Native Americans believed everything had a spirit. Now, I think they were on to something, but they're just putting it in the wrong context. Whereas now everything had a spirit. I don't know if spirit's the proper word. Everything possesses the will to exist, animate and inanimate objects. But inanimate objects are just the stuff of animate objects. Animate things just commandeer and utilize inanimate matter to construct itself. But anyway, I'm going off on tangent. So anyways, point in space can only facilitate a certain level of energy. Now, clearly an immense amount of energy, seeing as everything that exists in the material realm in the universe resided in that point in space. But anyway, that point in space became so positive and filled that space so full that it reached its capacity. But the pull that it was exerting on its surroundings was so strong that that energy was coming in so fast, it was pulling, and that point in space became full, maybe for an instant. I don't even know, probably such a small measure of time, we probably couldn't measure it. So it was instantly full, and then that energy kept coming in and filled it to capacity, and then that point in space had to purge itself, and that was the Big Bang. So all that energy was purged with an immense amount of force, formed the universe. Basically, all the energy was thrust outward in every direction, and as that energy left, it created a vacuum behind it, because it was thrust out with so much force. The energy went, and its gravity pulled out at the same time as it was going. All that matter was exerting force on its surroundings, pulled all that fucking energy out of that point. So in the middle of the universe, there's a gigantic black hole, or a super powerful black hole, because that point in space is now the most negative point in the universe, because all that energy was cast out from that point. And anyway, so that's my theory. Everything is imbued, everything in the tangible realm of the universe, or the positive realm of the universe, is imbued with the will to exist. And all negative matter wants to get back to zero. So everything, all the positive matter in the universe is pulling against the space around it to maintain its foothold in the material realm. And there's negative spaces in the universe that just want to get back to zero. But then, see, now that negative spot in the middle of the universe now is so negative, it's going to do the same thing that positive space, that initial positive space in the universe did. Now it's so negative, it's going to suck matter into it, and it's going to recover. It's going to get back to zero, and then it's going to keep pulling, because that it was already pulling so hard against the space around it. That matter is just going to already be coming in. It's going to have a momentum. It's going to keep coming into that point in space. Then that space is going to fill up, and then it's going to get to zero. Then it's going to cross back over into the positive realm. It's going to keep sucking. It's going to fill up, and then it's going to overload that point in space, and it's going to blow again. So it's just a cycle. Now I don't know how many times the universe has cycled over. I don't think anybody can really know. I don't know. I'll never know. I don't think there's any way to measure it. But anyway, I guess I'm just kind of rambling now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I mean, I think that's kind of sums up that point. There's a lot of shit I want to say. I'm gonna try and break up evenly into these videos, and hopefully it makes sense. I don't know, really. I've been thinking about these things for a while, and kind of my perception of things is one just big mashup of ideas. Now I'm gonna try and pluck these ideas and then elaborate on each one in a way where it makes sense, and the point is conveyed adequately. I don't know if I'm doing this or not, but I'm gonna try. So anyways, I'm gonna stop this video, and I'll see you on the next one.